What's going on, you guys? Sendapackage.tv. I'm Jamie Alexander, and I'm with Chaz. How you doing, Chaz?
How you doing?
I'm good. We're just kind of hanging out here on the A Mafia video set, and we just got to chatting about some things, and I wanted to put it on camera. So, Chaz, I was wondering if you could tell us who you are and what you think about what you know about Send a Package so far.
Okay, well, you know my name, Chaz Williams. I'm CEO of Black Hand Entertainment, and we are in the entertainment business in all aspects of it, from promotion to music to film. And we also do, Safe Streets Make Sense. We also have a prison outreach program that we do with the music component of the company, and we go in and out of prisons and help guys kind of reintegrate into society after serving long terms of imprisonment. And my background is pretty much documented. I've served 15 years in prison myself, over 15 on one sentence actually, but and like I said, it's pretty much documented on BET, on the American Gangster series. You can, Google that up and, get my whole story, basically. And, to send the package is definitely an important thing, for the guys that's inside. It's definitely kind of unfortunate situation to be in, of course. Right. But if you're there, the only comforts that you kind of get is the stuff that you kind of receive from outside or can connect with from the outside, which is what I do when I go to visit certain jails and certain penitentiaries. And packages are a very important element for a guy's mental and physical survival, because they definitely don't feed you right. It's a lot of other things that's lacking in terms of clothing and stuff like that, and it's always a comfort to guys that have family or don't have family to receive some kind of concern from the outside. So I think it's very important that that type of situation and that type of company or program is in existence.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you for sharing that. Now, you said you were away for 15 years. Were you in New York? You were in New York when that happened, right?
I was in the federal prison system, basically. So I've been in federal prisons in different states. Atlanta Penitentiary, Terre Haute, Indiana, in the penitentiary, Lewisburg, Pennsylvania Penitentiary, Marion, Illinois, in the penitentiary, maximum security penitentiary at the time, Otisville, and Milan, Michigan.
Okay, I see. Been visiting a few little spots. Do you remember receiving your first package and how important it was? And was it hard for your family members and friends to get things to you? How does that all work for people on the inside and outside, mentally, economically, and time-wise?
Okay, in the federal system, is no packaging really sent there. You got to buy everything through their commissary for the most part. But in the state system, my experience with it is that basically I have a lot of friends and actually family throughout the New York prison system who can receive packages, and I tend to try to get to them as often as possible, what I can, with the limited resources that we have, because everything comes out of our own pocket that we do. But for them, it's very important, especially in the state. I mean, the feds, and I don't know about now, I've been out a while, but the feds used to feed a little better than they did in the state, and the state definitely. And the other thing, in the states, you can cook. You can't cook in the federal prisons either, so definitely the state systems, and I'm talking about the New York system now, but there are other state systems throughout the country that, can receive packaging also, and I just don't know their rules and regulations, but I think the New York state is like 30 pounds a month, or something like that effect, and like I said, it's very important, and it's a very good addition, and it helps you through that bid. It helps you a great deal through the service of your sentence.
So you said you have a lot of friends in New York now that you kind of help and take care of. When you're sending packages to them now, talk to us about that process. Box here, mine the tape there, this approved item, stuff getting sent back. Have you had those experiences?
Yeah, all the time. Sometimes, if you don't have the list, sometimes in my rush to do certain things, sometimes I forget the colors and send the wrong colors up, you know what I mean? And they take them or they confiscate it. I send the wrong magazines, pictures, the wrong products, you know. And then sometimes when I go on the business, I can take packages and you know, that's always a mess. You know, I'm at the last minute. I'm in the supermarket near the jail trying to rush and get stuff and put it together and, you know, going in. Still, I don't have it right, you know. So, no, it's a process. And I think that a system that that has a catalog that just has all approved items on it, it would save a whole lot of time and pain, you know, for everybody.
Exactly. And what do you think about, okay, so we're in conjunction also with a nonprofit organization called In Arms Reach, Parents Behind Bars, Children in Crisis. Now, I don't know if you have children, but do you know about, and what can you tell us about children that are affected by their parents being incarcerated in this type of system?
Oh, well, I mean, definitely, I mean, through my own experience, you know, I had to kind of try to raise some of my kids, you know, while I was inside, and that's definitely a difficult, very, very difficult situation, especially when you're, you know, like, you know, even the upstate prisons are, you know, hours away, and the federal prisons are definitely hours and hours away, you know, and some are days away, you know, if you're driving, you know, but it's definitely a difficult situation to try to, you know, raise your kid, you know, in a visiting room, you know, or by letters, you know, or by phone. Like with me, it wasn't all that phone stuff at the time. It was just, you know, by letters mostly. And near the end of my bid, they started the phone process. But, you know, all of that's still difficult, you know. It's just really difficult to connect with your children, you know, the right way. It's, you know, it's always, you know, something, and you always get that something late in terms of if it's a problem or whatever, you know, and a lot of times there's really nothing that you can do about it, you know, because you're behind bars, and it's just a hard thing to accept. So it's a real difficult situation going through that process, you know.
Yeah, that does, it sounds very taxing. Now, one of the things that we have in our catalog, which has been an exciting addition for the inmates and the artists alike, is that we have tapes available. So we do have an exclusive deal with Universal. They're actually producing tapes of new and old music so that inmates can have music. What do you think the importance of music in the system is, and how it kind of gets you by?
Oh, well, definitely, the music part is definitely important. I mean, in some of the prisons, like in the federal system, you don't get that, you know, and I definitely know how important it is, because I was in Terre Haute, Indiana, and, you know, even you listen to the music that's available, you know, I started, and keep hearing it. Next thing I knew, I was singing Benny and the Jets, and I didn't even really want to get with that, you know. So definitely music, you know, of your own genre is definitely, you know, a pleasure to have. And in the state system, they do allow that to happen. You know, the federal system is different again, but in the state system, they allow you to have music, and I think that's important. I think it's important that they're allowed to have tapes, even if it's educational tapes, you know. I think that's very important, you know, especially now when they have reduced, you know, their budgets, and a lot of the programs are not coming in as far as academic, you know, educational programs coming into the system. You know, I think if guys want to, you know, increase their span and what they can do when they come out, so maybe some guys want to learn Spanish and they can get that on tape, or French, or whatever they need to. I think that's a very important process, you know, and that availability is definitely a plus to any penitentiary.
Well, great, thank you. So we're going to make sure to get you a catalog in case you want to send a package from the comforts of your own home right behind the computer. That's how, you know, we make it easy, all approved by the Department of Corrections. So we'll make sure to get you that. And before we go, do you want to tell everyone where we can find you online? Or you said you have an entertainment company?
Yeah, you can find me at www.blackhandent.com. And, you know, that's the website. You know, and you can find me at Black Hand Chaz on Instagram and on Facebook. I mean, I can't.
Send a package.
All right.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.